Cosmic Ghost Rider and Red Goblin are technically confirmed for next month. I say technically because there may be some information missing from some of the information we've seen thus far. Yes, Monday was a bit of a funny old day, especially because there was information that was, well, I don't know, leaked mistakenly. It's it's just quite funny. It's happened before, but I guess this comes with the level of like stuff that, you know, if Kabam want to keep hidden and as well bring to the game or have as synergies, as characters, as champions, and forget to like change it, stuff like this is going to happen like more commonly. And as you can see here, this is from a Weapon X synergy, the kind of the trophy champion, so to speak. Well, not trophy champion, but the if you've done hard work and you've got the champion through the means of a Legends title, well done, and you've got a Weapon X. But yeah, as it says here, Cosmic Ghost Rider increased armor break debuff duration by 35%. This like made Twitter and a lot of places go insane because it just like gave everybody the idea that Cosmic Ghost Rider is coming to the game. Not an idea, it's like it is gonna happen. I think you'll find of my video I released 3 months ago that I may have been onto something. Not really. Basically with this video I did make a mistake in that I thought that the new Herald of Galactus would indeed be Cosmic Ghost Rider, and then it turned out to be well, Airwalker. But the fact is it does play into the story arc, the creation, and as well where I think the game is going with the story narrative. I've had this theory for a while that Mephisto plays a part. Ever since the 5th year anniversary of the game trailer, we had Mephisto, you know, with the Watcher, but at the same time, how Galactus in the background plays into the future and the ideas that Gabe is bringing to the table. And my theory is that there is going to be two things. Number one, that there's going to be a Herald's War, especially in Book 2, and that story mode, story in general is going to be going in that way. And the second thing being that maybe there's something where Mephisto and Galactus are going at war with one another, and maybe it's a case there's something of, you know, Cosmic Ghost Rider is created as a Herald of Galactus, but powers come, or there's kind of influence from Mephisto going against the likes of Galactus, and it needs to be something that is, you know, a one going against the other. Is Galactus actually a good person in this, or a bad person? In any case, I do think the Herald's War and Mephisto playing a huge part in what happens with Cosmic Ghost Rider could be a massive thing for the future. And if you are interested in checking out the video, it goes back in time to where I had longer hair. Check it out. You know, that's nice hair. I'm enjoying that. I need a haircut, actually, funnily enough. The video goes in depth on kind of explaining the champion Cosmic Ghost Rider, and as well like the history, backstory, and my ideas about linking the story arcs together and how it would be good for the future of like a Herald's War and Mephisto's influence. So yeah, go and check it out. Links in the description. Okay, let's talk about abilities. Now, we'll talk about the far right-hand corner in a minute. I'm going to like enlarge that one, but from a special attacks perspective, nothing really to talk about as there's nothing specific there. I'm sure there'll be something more to it, but champion synergies, that's something that's going to be quite important. It looks like it's like Cosmic Ghost Rider related for two of these things, like Dashback and Next Judgment. So Judgments are the same thing with Ghost Rider that are being kind of like used on this one. On Heavy, Charge gain 100% chance to trigger an unstoppable buff lasting 0.5 seconds. So I don't know if this champion will need synergies. It doesn't look like that, especially for the first two. On the third one, increased armor break debuff duration. So I guess that can be quite good if you want to ramp up on the armor break. Can be quite handy as well if you're doing things like diss track, and so you need debuffs. We'll have to look see if that would be applicable for, you know, other debuff damage that the champion could do. Punisher 2099 has 100% chance to grant a Fury buff. That's going to be quite spicy, especially with the champion tune-up coming in October at the same time. Cosmic Ghost Rider, the first time your opponent reaches max power each fight, drain 5% of their power and trigger a power lock debuff lasting 2 seconds. That's going to be quite good, especially from a point of dealing with things like all or nothing and just power control. It's good to see another power control type champion, because has it been a little while since we've seen like anything decently power control, but we'll have a look at the abilities in a second, just see if there's anything. Cosmic Ghost Rider there gains a 50% buff duration if you have no judgments active on the opponent. And then Standard Ghost Rider increased Fury buff duration by 100%. That means some really kind of like improvement on damage output for that champion. So yeah, that's pretty good. It seems that that could be a real kind of fun way to utilize the Standard Ghost Rider. I love it. So what is pinpointed by here is that when Cosmic Ghost Rider triggers Armor Up Fury precision, cruelty. It looks like the champion's getting loads of buffs. I mean, that's a standard trait of a cosmic, to be honest. So I think there may be some misinformation. There could be some more misinformation, but again, we'll have to kind of figure out that towards the end of the week when the full abilities or spotlights are put out. So each judgment can be stacked. Good. Each judgment placed on the opponent increases the duration of any buff triggered on Cosmic Ghost Rider by X%. While you have 5 judgments in place, this bonus is doubled. More judgments, there's a chance to get placed power lock. So it looks like there's like power control and buffs. It's a good kind of combination to have. It's like it's quite good to have that. As I'm not sure, like most of the time it's things like association with stuff like Mystic champions get like a lot of power control, power lock, power draining and such like. But yeah, if this champion does have that, it like sucks the life. It's like sucking the life from the champion, so to speak. It's kind of a trait that's more like a herald trait, like a Galactus trait. Gains a fate seal. So it looks like a lot of the components from like the standard Ghost Rider and the Cosmic Ghost Rider kind of intertwine a little bit. But it's good to see stuff like this. Cosmic Penance Stare at fight start. When fighting a #villain at the start of the fight, gain a percentage of chance to place an indefinite armor break debuff on the opponent, reducing their armor rating by removing active armor buffs. That's good, especially with champions that are a bit of a pain. Like who's really a pain that does that? Yeah, like Guardian. I had a mind block there, but yeah, Guardian, Red Skull. Man, just trying to think of like armor up champions just get loads of armor in one given time. Iron Man Infinity War, you know, loads. Stuff with armor break will be applicable to champion, reducing champion stuff. Yeah, anyway, right, I digress. On activation, Judgment of Armor is not active. Chance to trigger up armor buff. So you get buffs. And there's loads of judgments here. Judgment, Cruelty, Precision, Fury. So, yeah, stacking buffs. Love it. Love it. Preventing your attack from missing. Well, that's good. So you get that. So all these different types of judgments here, which are going to be incredibly important. And the signature ability is that Cosmic Ghost Rider's Vengeance is a great at removing judgments, weakening the very fabric of his opponent. The power lock debuff triggered when reaching 5 judgments is upgraded to damnation debuff. Yeah, there's a lot of and as like as it says here right at the bottom, it says this information is very early and subject to change. In the final release, Mystic class is also just an early guess. So there's a lot of guesswork with this, and there's some stuff that really doesn't. I don't know if it's completely and 100% there. But yeah, like that's still good from the start point to kind of go like, okay, this is a weird champion, mixes of gaining loads of buffs, which is a cosmic trait, and as well then getting stuff with power control, which is, you know, a trait with a lot of mystic. So this could be a good shmush there. The kind of influences from Mephisto and the kind of like giving of the power cosmic. So you got this kind of intertwine of one and the other. So yeah, really, really cool. And let's move on to the next champion. Okay, let's move on to the other champion, and it's Red Goblin. A bit of a weird one to come up with, but this is really cool. And as well, it's nice to see these kind of like unusual champions. I know a lot of the time people are like, oh, you know, who is this champion? I don't know. Maybe it's Ronnie Pickering. Every time it's nice to like see like a difference of like, you know, weird unusual champions or characters that you haven't like necessarily known about, and it's good to learn more. And I'll probably do some kind of comic book history type videos. I mean, I've already done a Cosmic Ghost Rider, so I don't think I'll do that anymore, but I think I'll do a Red Goblin one. But yeah, this is where like the rise of the Red Guardian. Unfortunately for Osborn, the cure for Spider-Man gave him that rid him of his powers, prevented him from using his goblin forms to restore them. After science failed, Osborn travelled to the temple with no name to learn to become a magic user. Osborn was subjected to a test to determine whether he was worthy of magic. Hydra. Osborn had 2 henchmen. Oh, there we go. The new so Symbiote bonded with Osborn and quickly bonded with him to become the new Carnage. So Osborn becoming Carnage by the means of being a Red Goblin. So that's so devious. It's like it's worse. To me, it looks like it's worse than Green Goblin from a point of like the evil standpoint. So now it's just like it's just more evil. Look at that. It's just evil, pure evil. The biggest thing will be with Red Goblin and Norman Osborn, will we see some kind of synergies and preparation for the future? There's a lot of things that could really mix into some sort of like Osborn type synergy of the future. If we get Harry Osborn involved and some other Spider-Man things, there could be so much more. But yeah, there's a lot more details here on special attacks, especially from a point of view of like, well, what these blasts do. And I think this might be the more kind of like debuff damage dealing champion, which is going to be pretty cool. Nora employs the Green Goblin tactic, discharging a few Carnage Bombs to maim his prey. Then obliterate. I was thinking to myself, obliterates? No, obliterates. God, I did learn to read, most of the time. I can speak eloquently enough, but, make it up on the fly as I go. Anyway, incinerates dealing. So it looks like this will, again, be like the debuff. Potency increase for each unique debuff on the opponent. So we've had a few champions like this in the past when there's been champions that the more debuffs or more kind of debuff damage, the more that it then increases the ferocity of the champion and the damage output that can be in tow. Green Goblin unleashes his madness onto the world with Armada Carnage Bombs. All the Carnage Bombs. On activation, gain one of each symbiote buff. So buffs and debuffs again, that's cool. Inflicts 7 random Carnage Bomb debuffs. So will that be something that can be phased with Ghost? Don't know. That'll be something to kind of look at in the future. Wow, there's a lot of synergies here with the kind of benefit some. So reduce duration of Venom's killing time buff by 30%. Lose 1 less Bloodlust when defeated. So that might be something of persistent charges. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And we've got Spider-Man Symbiote Special 2 creates a non-stacking Fury buff. Wow, 5% attack for each armor break on the opponent. That's 20 seconds while active. Heavy attacks inflict additional armor breaks. Ooh, I like that for Spider-Man Symbiote. I really like that. Like an idea that you're able to ramp up damage on armor breaks. Nice. Launching a special attack gets Madness and Cunning stacks to be even, while both stacks are even. Increase ability accuracy by 25%. Nice. Carnage, when genetic mutation ends, generate one additional permanent buff. Ooh. After reaching max permanent buffs, future symbiote creations buffs last 10 seconds. That's nice for Carnage. And symbiotes, each symbiote on the team grants 15% increased critical damage. That's annoying, isn't it? Because it's like this champion would be ideal for Variant 5. This is going to be the Variant 5 Slayer when it comes to like the symbiote side of things. So, it's good to see some love being put in. But man, it's crazy not to have this for Variant 5. Well, if you're looking to do Variant 5, there you go. Symbiote side of things, or the last part, this is a champion. Arc Overload grants a Fury buff, increasing attack rating by 300% for 30 seconds. No longer burns out Iron Patriot suit and can be reactivated after 60 seconds cooldown. Nice. Nice. Iron Patriot with a big ass buff. Like, nice. It's good to see. Right, let's go over to the left-hand side now. Let's see what abilities. Red Goblin's Symbiote reduces abilities of a passive evade abilities. Hashtag Spider-Verse Champions of 0%. So it's a good counter for that. Gain full immunity to Incinerate and Power Burn. Ooh, interesting. After winning a fight, gain 1 Bloodlust. So there's a persistent charge-based format. If defeating hashtag Spider-Verse Champions, gain 1 plus 1 Bloodlust. Cool. So that's a bit like Corvus. So you kind of like go up against a certain champion, and you're able to then go from fight to fight. So you lose a Bloodlust when defeated. Each Fury buff inflicts. What do you get from like? The question is, what does Bloodlust do? That's going to be the thing, isn't it? Each Fury burst inflicts armor break, reducing armor by 1 for 2 seconds. Inflict the opponent with different debuff depending on Red Goblin's current buffs or debuffs. Last X seconds. It could be 2, it could be more. All other buffs inflict Incinerate, dealing energy damage. Incinerates also prevent perfect block and reduce block efficiency by minus 50%. Nice. Each energized buff inflicts power drain, max power over 2 seconds. Each Fury buff inflicts vulnerability. Ooh. Vulnerability opponents grant critical damage rating and reduce block efficiency by 50%. Nice. Oh, hang on. Inflicts vulnerability onto the enemy, then that's nice. That's going to be... But they get critical damage and reduce block proficiency. So that's something. Don't get clipped by a special attack. After either champion lands a consecutive hit, active frenzy. While opponent has less than 0% health remaining, or it could be X% health. This is not really confirmed. Activate Frenzy. Each Bloodlust increases threshold by flat 2%, reaching max Bloodlust. Attack rating, improve each Bloodlust. So, okay, cool. So damage output is increased by each Bloodlust. Bloodlust is the persistent charge-based thing. So that's cool. That is going to be... I don't know. I'm really interested with this champion. Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's going to be annoying because it's going to be 2 champions released this month. Or October. Which I'm going to be like really interested to get. But it comes at a point where I don't really want to spend any money on the game until Cyber Weekend. While Frenzy's active, armor up buff and precision buffs have increased potency. Special attacks create +1 symbiote buff. So we need to find out that. Heavy attacks, carnage, bomb debuffs inflicted by this attack have reduced duration. Activating special attacks creates a buff based on the last attack launched. Buffs last for 2 seconds or X seconds, but start pause buffs are unpaused next time one of them is triggered. And then there's a fight dynamic here. So aptitude granting increased fury, precision, armor up, potency, armor up granting. So you kind of buff yourself by doing a heavy attack. Granting attack rating for medium attack. So it's just a case of like, yeah, just it looks like decent damage output, and it looks like a lot of complexity to the way you play the champion, which is fun, but I don't know if that's going to interest me. And then the signature ability is normal odds on carnage symbiote form a powerful bond. Each bloodlust granting attack rating. Special attack symbiote buffs, reduce potency, bloodlust, combat power rate. However, each stack is 20% less effective than the previous. And 3 bloodlust critical hits have a percentage chance to regenerate missing health. Nice. Each bloodlust grants physical resistance. However, each stack is 20% less effective than the previous. So a very unusual champion. Looks pretty fun at the same time. There we go, that has been the video, and it's been going over some of the information that's out there currently about what is tipped to be for next month. Do bear in mind some of this information will be correct or incorrect. We'll largely have to see where it goes, especially from a point of saying like MCoC Journal did say that some of the information may or may not be correct. Some things may be missing, and at the same time there's some stuff when it comes to classifications of these champions, which again may be correct or incorrect. But yes, if this is indeed going to be happening for October, then I'm pretty much up for seeing these champions, and as well what their abilities are. From a point of like, you know, do we have the new debuff dealing champion that is going to do so much damage and has a load of buffs, and the same thing with the champion that has got utility plus a huge amount of damage output and could be the strongest herald so far. Those are things we're still yet to find out, and do bear in mind event information normally drops between Wednesday and Friday the week before the new event goes live. So if you want new information about what's side quests, what's going on with the other stuff, then look between Wednesday and Friday of the week before the new event goes live. That's when information normally drops. Thanks for watching this video. Check out some other content over here, especially Rich's Realm, where it's the dedicated Marvel Realm of Champions channel, and as well the other content up there. And thoughts in the comment section about these new champions, if indeed they are going to be coming in next month. Thanks for watching. See you soon.